This is the latest Honda Passport, a 2026 model, and it's great. It's actually currently our favorite mid-size two-row SUV and one of our favorite Hondas. And this is the previous generation Passport, which ran from 2019 to 2025. So is it worth the upgrade to pay more to get the new Passport? Or can you save a little money and still get everything that you need? We're the people to ask because Edmunds drives, tests, and rates hundreds of cars each year. As trusted experts, we've teamed up with CarMax to help you make the best car buying decision. The Passport is a mid-size SUV with 2 rows, seating for 5, and tons of cargo space. It's larger than a CR-V, about the same size as a Pilot, but trading a 3rd row of seats for more cargo space. It's a great size if you need more trunk than you can get in a compact SUV like the CR-V, but don't need a 3rd row of seating. Honda redesigned the Passport for 2026 with the majority of the updates coming inside the SUV. There's more modern tech with a much larger touchscreen and a more refined interior than what you got in the previous Passport. But that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the old Passport. It's got the same V6 engine and it has a different transmission. But there's also a lot to like when it comes to the tech. So most used Passports that you find will have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as long as some great driver aids like adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist. And you'll definitely save money by opting for an older Passport. On average, a 2025 Passport costs $5,000 less than a 2026 Passport. But the new Passport gets the Top Safety Pick Plus designation from the IIHS. The previous generation Passport only got Top Safety Pick recognition on 2019 and 2020 models, but didn't perform as well on newer, more stringent tests. The old Passport did get 5 stars from NHTSA, while the new Passport hasn't been rated yet. Honda built this 3rd generation Passport from 2019 to 2025, delivering a couple of small updates in 2021 and 2022. Now, this was really a reinvention of the Passport, building an SUV that makes a lot of sense for people who want extra cargo space and don't need the 3rd row that the Pilot provides. Let's go over those features real quick. This is a 2024 Passport, and it has standard Apple CarPlay and Android Auto on an 8-inch touchscreen. Now, those features became standard starting with the 2021 model year. And in 2022, the more off-road focused Trail Sport trim, like this one, was added along with some other styling updates. But don't expect this Trail Sport version to give you much in the way of extra off-road capability compared to a regular Passport. It's mostly just for looks. The new Trail Sport, though, is a different story, but we'll get there in a minute. There is a lot to like about this Passport generation, so let's start at the front row. These seats are wide, plush, and comfortable enough that I wouldn't mind sitting here on a long road trip. And I also feel like I have a really good view of everything thanks to the high position of the driver's seat. Now, the touchscreen works pretty well, though it has not aged well and definitely feels dated compared to the new Passport. But the good news is that there are a lot of physical buttons up here for things like adjusting the temperature or volume. The air conditioning and the heat are both plenty powerful, though Edmunds editors did note that the automatic setting on the climate control didn't do a great job of maintaining a target temperature. But overall, the front row of the Passport is a great place to be. But how about the 2nd row? It's also really good. There is a lot of room back here, even with 3 adults buckled up. You can find Passports with its own rear dedicated climate control also, which is a really nice touch. There are plenty of cup holders and small item storage too. Okay, how about cargo? Yep, pretty awesome. There's a couple more cubic feet of cargo space back here than there is in the CR-V. But the Passport's real advantage is that it's about half a foot wider and taller than the CR-V, which our editors, who are parents, noted can make storing things like full-size strollers or tall suitcases a lot easier. So the old Passport has a lot to offer, but there were definitely some complaints, especially as years wore on. Edmunds editors noted that the tech was quite dated by 2025. In particular, the Edmunds rating calls out the adaptive cruise control. It only works at speeds above 20 miles per hour, which in our road test experience is a little unusual and does limit its usefulness. It's a real shame because the best part of a good adaptive cruise system in our testers' experience is being able to use it in stop and go traffic, which is a big part of the daily lives of our editors. If your daily commute is like ours, this might be a solid reason to look at the newer Passport. On top of that, the Edmunds rating notes that the adaptive cruise system can be abrupt on braking and acceleration, so it isn't as smooth and comfortable as some of its competitors. Okay, so what does the new Passport have over the older one? Is it just shinier tech? Now, the first thing you'll notice about the 4th generation Passport is the way it looks. It's noticeably blockier than the previous Passport. So if you're more into rectangles and curves, good news. But that's obviously not the most important change that Honda unveiled with the new Passport. There's a new transmission, which makes for a much nicer and smoother drive. That said, with our testing, we did notice that the new Passport will take a little bit longer to get up to freeway speeds compared to the older model. There's a little more cargo space in the new Passport, and interior space has increased too. It feels very open and roomy from the front seat, and there are tons of great places to store small items, including a ton of cup holders. Now this one on the door is my favorite. Finally a place to put my old coffee cup when I'm in the drive-thru to get another coffee. The genius says Honda really thought about everything. But that's not all that's great when it comes to small item storage. The center console in between the front seats has a ton of space and some helpful shelves for dropping wallets, keys, hand sanitizer, whatever you want. Up front, we've got a wireless charging pad that works pretty well and is grippy enough that your phone doesn't go sliding everywhere. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard features, but there's also a spot up here to plug in your phone directly if that's more of your speed. And just like the last Passport, tons of physical buttons. And that includes a button that allows you to control and lock the rear climate control. Now, if you have kids, you know why that's awesome. Also, there's a new 12-inch touchscreen, which is a huge upgrade from what was available in the last Passport. So, do the good times keep on rolling in the second row? Let's take a look. Second row space is just a tiny bit better in the new Passport, but you're not likely to notice a difference. These seats are comfortable and there is plenty of leg room, even for taller adults. Now, just like the last Passport, there's a lot of room for car seats, and these door openings open wide enough that even getting a big car seat in won't be a hassle. And then there's cargo space. You get a few more cubic feet of storage behind the second row in the new Passport compared to the old one. And the new Passport gets you an extra 6 cubic feet when the second row is folded down. This is a really spacious cargo area. This new version of the Trail Sport also offers a lot more off-road upgrades. You get all-terrain tires, off-road suspension, underbody protection to keep rocks and debris from damaging the vehicle, a camera system to make it easier to maneuver off-road, and recovery points so your friend can pull your car out if you get stuck. So what are the trade-offs? Pretty much the same as the last Passport. Fuel economy is not good. This one gets an EPA estimated 21 miles per gallon combined in driving, but Edmunds actually has one of these puppies as part of their 1-year road test fleet, and it's only getting 19 miles per gallon. And there's no hybrid option available. So if you really care about fuel economy, you might want to look elsewhere. But overall, this new Passport is great and is one of Edmunds' highest rated SUVs. That said, the biggest downside of the old Passport is its tech. And if you care more about space and practicality than the latest and greatest tech, the previous generation is still a great and more affordable pick. So what do you think? Is the updated interior and new tech worth it? Or do you want to save a little bit of cash and go with the older Passport? Let us know in the comments and we'll see you next time.